Hey, what's up, everybody? Back again for another love and relationship reading. I'm going to start with my Lenormand, but I did pull some Black Moon astrology cards to see where, like, what's happening astrologically as a guidance. The first one that came out is fire, desire, the fire element of fire. Oh my God, I swear to God, fire element, desire. So fire is about movement. It's about creation. It can represent Leo, Aries, or Sagittarius energy. But I'm going to get into this in a second. But it represents the Two of Wands in the tarot. So like each of these cards in the Black Moon astrology, they associate it with a tarot card, and this one's the Two of Wands. So then I pulled another card to see, like, okay, what kind of movement, like, what are we desiring, what's happening there? And I got the ninth house, and it's faith. And the ninth house actually is Sagittarius, and rules the planet Jupiter, which is about luck, expansion, openness. And this card, funny enough, represents the Three of Wands. So we went from the Two of Wands to the Three of Wands, and I did pull them in that order. So there's a progression. And if I'm looking at the Two of Wands, represents what are you passionate about? What are you choosing to put your energy into? And then making that choice. The Three of Wands represents waiting for your ships to come in, basically. So that's that faith, right? Like once you put energy into a specific thing, you're waiting for your ships to come back to you full of all the goodies that you had sent out your people to get for you. So yeah, let's see what else. I wonder where the moon is right now. I just thought of that. I cannot look because I have an app on my phone and I'm using my phone. Ooh, the snake. And this one is shedding, number 7, which is a very spiritual number. Oh, this card is also about, like, oh my God, Cheeto. Jesus. Hold on. Cheeto. All right, buddy. We're going to do this again. Let me see. What was I going to say? That card is about, is there anything else I want to say about the fire element? Changes are coming. New movement, basically, is the fire element. It's about being assertive, getting started, pushing ahead, strength, courage, passion, arousal. But there was one thing that stood out to me with this ninth house: media, publishing, divination, and astrology. Media and publishing, because it had a lot to, I think it was talking about words, like writing, and being supported when it comes to like writing. It also has a lot to do with esoteric matters like psychic fairs. That's why it said divination and astrology. Sagittarius is actually a very spiritually minded sign. So that makes a lot of sense to me. So yeah, since it opposes the third house of communication and writing, the ninth house represents publishing and influences through the written word. It speaks of a forum for written ideas and concepts, also of joining a reputable literary world. Can't even speak. So if you want to write a book, or you want to have a blog, or do some kind of writing, it's the energy is there for that right now. So if that's something that you're passionate about, that you want to create in your life, the energy is ripe there for you. Okay, so we have first the snake with shedding, ooh, and then the heart, which is about love. First, I want to go into the snake shedding. So it is about transformation because it's shedding. So if it was there's 2 snakes in this deck in the Lenormand. If it was about the other one, it would not necessarily be about transformation. It would be about being fierce. So shed, transform, renew. That's what the snake, and I feel like that is why, like, in order to tap into this desire and this new movement forward, there's something that we need to shed, or we are shedding. So it says, perhaps you too have come to a point where you need to shed an old skin, a role you have outgrown. Transformation is possible if you recognize the twists and turns in your life, and when you need to make a change and leave the old behind. It says this card can be used in a spread to represent the dark or new moon, which is next week on the 10th, I believe. June 10th is the new moon in Gemini. either showing the energies around that time of coming lunation or for questions regarding the kind of energy currently available. Honestly, I feel like it's pointing to that time. So what I get is shedding before the new moon. Like the new moon energy is already, I think, coming in. So it'll be like a week away and tomorrow. And I believe it's saying like the new movement, like is kind of, we're picking up on it. Like the new moon energy next week is, because it also is a solar eclipse, I believe, which is really potent and ripe. So that energy is already showing itself in terms of like, this is what you can have, or the new energy that's coming in. Goodness, I feel like I can't get my words out with the desire and the fire element card and the new beginnings. But right now we're in a period of shedding. And then we have the heart, which is an amazing card. It's about love. Let me read a little bit more. So what are we shedding, though? That's what I want to get more cards on. It's about love. Be passionate about. Follow your heart. Cherish. It's about romance, tenderness, emotion, happiness. Can represent a person, a man, a lover who wears his heart on his sleeve. I'm just reading. Give me a sec. It's talking about coming out of your shell and expressing love in your everyday life. So I feel like that it maybe is what we're shedding, is that more us keeping to ourselves and not being vulnerable in that way of being. And in other ways, the joy to dive back into the ocean and feel yourself buoyed by the unity of life, riding the swell of absolute love. Okay, I don't know that was out of context, so just ignore that last message. But I do want to get another one about like, what are we shedding exactly? Because I feel like that's what it's asking you to do, is to come out of your shell. Basically, it's like literally the snake is coming out of its skin. And then in this card, it talks about coming out of your shell and expressing more love in your life. Okay, I guess. Clouds. So the clouds is about uncertainty, and it is actually a 6 coming before the 7, but I want to get one more. So there's uncertainty. It's about uncertainty or not feeling clear. Then we have the writer, I believe is the writer number 1. Let me look at the... Thank you for your patience as I read these. Clouds, confusion, polarity, difficulties, delays. Well, what I get is what we're shedding is the confusion, or it says gaining greater insight into yourself will help you deal better with all aspects of life. So the clouds may not clear straight away, but the insight will pierce them eventually. It still doesn't feel clear. Okay, so this is the male writer. There's also a female writer, or bard. So news. It's still not clear. God damn it. I'm going to have to pull more cards. I was thinking I was going to get away with pulling 2. Something happening soon and very quickly, though, is the writer. So it's like the uncertainty will clear. Okay, I get it now. What I get is that because we're in the shedding process is why there's uncertainty, because we're in the, right, it's like if we were looking at the metaphor of being in the cocoon before the butterfly comes out, we're in darkness, so it's not clear. We don't know what it looks like out on the other side, so because we just haven't come out of the darkness yet. So but there could be some kind of news or messages, and it even says I listen to the messages of the universe. Like you'll get messages from the universe in terms of, what are we getting messages from? See, I have so many questions. The heart, I'm still not sure about that one. I'm just gonna put that one to the side. 11, which is it the broom, I believe, which is like sweeping away, cleaning things up. Okay, so I think it's more so like we're going to get messages about what we need to clean up. So the reason it's okay, it's not clear yet what we're shedding necessarily. Maybe it is a little bit, but it still feels uncertain. But soon we will get messages from the universe that tells us what we need to clean up. Thank you for that, Spirit. Birch rods, broom, same thing. Cleansing can be intense. This card represents times when you may have allowed bad habits into your life, yet it also speaks to many spiritually beautiful things such as dancing, chanting, and cleaning out what no longer serves you. Take some time to spot what patterns you may be repeating that you no longer want in your life, then clean them out. So it's unclear, possibly because you didn't realize you needed to, or you haven't really been paying attention to it. And so now watching this reading, you're like, okay, well, what do I need to clean out? And so you ask and you shall receive. So ask the universe and they'll give you messages about what you need to clean out. And it's about clearing negative patterns. So I think that's pretty clear. And I think it has to do with the love, like where you block love out, where you don't allow yourself to open up and feel the love and share the love with people and with yourself. I really feel like that is clear. Okay, one more. They're saying one more, and then we're moving on from this deck. I'm going to try not to make this an hour-long reading. The garden, or the flowers. This one came out the other day. So this, I believe, is about... See, it's blanking on me already. Flowers, a gift, yeah. Giving and receiving, a gift, beauty. Yeah, being touched by the beauty of the world. It's not being a pattern. There's a pattern that's keeping us from tapping into this beautiful, lovely energy of giving and receiving and sharing love with another person or with ourselves. So, yeah. And I think it will be different for everyone in terms of what how the pattern shows up for us. And maybe that's what we'll get into here right now. Hopefully some messages will come through about that I can maybe help some people with, and hopefully myself too. It's most likely a belief or some kind of pattern when it comes to beliefs. This is my Isis oracle. The dark mysteries. The dark goddess calls you to her inner chamber where she holds a test and a gift for you. A gift? The test is your willingness to meet and release the fears within that have been secretly holding you back. The gift is freedom, peace, opportunity, and prosperity in all its forms. Will you accept her call? Your time for deeper initiation is here. Ooh. So that's why that's why we're not sure. We're possibly afraid of it, or felt we haven't been ready for it, or we couldn't handle it. Goddess of 10,000 names. If you have felt constrained by a role, didn't we just talk about that? Didn't this card talk about a role or something? I'm going to read that again. Name or identity and are wishing for assistance in growing beyond it, or if you have sensed a new role or identity calling you into greater expression and would love some divine help in that growth, this oracle indicates the help you need is already with you, urging your growth from within. Yes, so shedding an old identity. What is that identity? It's still unclear. Maybe it'll be clear to you watching this reading. I think we'll get more into it, but I just wanted to make sure, because didn't I read shedding an old skin, a role you have outgrown, right? So roles that we play, in other people's lives, roles that we think we need to keep playing in people's lives. For a while I was like, I don't want to be known as a tarot reader. I had all this, I think I was just more afraid that people wouldn't take me seriously. But, not that I get those reflections, because everyone who comes to me takes me seriously once they see me. But if I were to tell somebody, this is what I do for a living, there was all these negative beliefs around that. And so for a while I was like trying to move away from being a tarot reader, but then I was just gonna keep getting called back to it, and it's like, okay. And this is kind of an example, but because I don't feel like but again, I feel like labels like I'm an intuitive coach, or I'm an energy healer, or I am a tarot reader, put us into boxes when these are just tools that I use to help people. So I try to use language like I do intuitive coaching, I do energy healing, I do tarot readings, not I am a tarot reader, because it kind of puts you into a box. So this is just an example of how we can label ourselves, and it can become an identity that we hold on to, right? And then if we're doing anything that's outside of that, then if people have come to notice in that role, then you're going to get reflections back to you from them like, oh no, because we humans need to identify and box things in order to feel safe. We need to know, are you a girl or are you a boy? Do I need to be afraid of you, right? That's where I think everything with gender roles and sexuality and the leaps and bounds we've made in that area are showing us where we don't need to put each other in boxes or go by certain identifications in order to love each other or respect each other. I mean, I get sometimes it's helpful, like maybe back in the day when we needed to identify, is this thing a threat to us? But we don't need to do that anymore, because we're highly evolved and more intelligent than back in caveman days, right? Where we weren't evolved and we could easily die every single day. Today, I mean, yes, we still can with certain things, right? However, it's not as common. It's not as common today. We are very safe. We are very protected in most things, whether you know, at least I believe that. You don't have to agree with me, but I do believe that's true. Because we have assistance from the cosmos and spirits and just other really intelligent beings and energies that support us in our evolution. I'm gonna take a drink of water. So my point is that we can get stuck in the labels and the roles and the identities that people put us in. And then we make it reflections of like, oh, but like, you're this person. Why are you doing this now? And it's like, well, because I want to, right? So for example, cat hair, you know, I've done the pussy wisdom and embody pussy wisdom, and that has been one of my big focuses, and it still is, but I'm not limited to that one thing. And I think when I start limiting myself, well, for one, I can tell when things are out of alignment and I need to shift. So I was like, okay, I'm going to focus on what I see is getting me good, where I know I'm having the most impact. And so that's where I was like, this is what I want to do long term, like choosing my path. However, I still like to do all these other things. Doesn't mean I can't. Doesn't mean that, you know, so I hope that's a good example to kind of explain what I'm trying to say in terms of a role that you're playing in that you've outgrown, you know. But I feel it's deeper in like all of your relationships, like how you show up in relationships. Are you the healer? Are you the saver, right? What other roles do we play? Are you too stuck in your role of mother, of nurse, of father, of coach, of whatever it is, and just kind of like let yourself come out of that box a little bit, if you choose to, right? There's it's all about choice, but I think there's some fear in that. Like for me, being a teacher, I was a teacher for years and years and years, and not that I'm not still a teacher, like I think it's innately a part of me, however, but because I'm not doing it as a profession, I'm not anymore. I did have to go through a death of sorts in letting go of that identity and being like, you know, that isn't all of who I am, or I don't want to be seen as the professor or the preschool teacher or whatever it is, right? So we have to allow ourselves to evolve and shift, and grow. And it's got to come from the inside first. We have to let go of it on the inside for it to shift on the outside. So I wanted to bring up my Dragon Oracle cards because the element of fire, I thought that was perfect. The one that came out is White Gold Dragon from Lyra. Connects you to the highest Christ light. Develop your causal chakra. Bathe in 9th dimensional Christ light. And I will read this one from the book, and I'm only going to choose one of these. These ones are very special. They don't like to come out all of the time. Only when they are guided. So it says, these white gold dragons are attracted to you now because you already carry Christ's light in your aura. Ask one to take you to the 9th dimensional pool of Christ energy held in Lukame. Visualize yourself bathing in the pool, which shimmers and swirls with pure love and light. Feel yourself absorbing all you are ready to receive. When you return, continue to feel the white gold light in your aura and practice pure unconditional love in your daily life. Your aura will radiate the incredibly high frequency of white gold, and the white gold dragon from Lyra will support you by continuing to pour Christ light into you. Take time to find a quiet, still place where you can listen to its wisdom and guidance. I can already feel people being having an aversion to Christ light. And maybe that's what it is too, is like, maybe it's shedding the old skin of just so many things, like things you didn't even realize were there. I'm getting like conditioning from childhood, whether you grew up religious, right? Or you grew up religious, or I don't want to say, but you didn't really give into it, or you rebelled against it and never really fully took to it. And so therefore you created this rebellion against it in terms of anything God or Jesus, or I know people like this. I've spoken to people like this who have had bad experiences in churches where they could feel this church, or they felt like they were trying to be brainwashed, or trying to get them to go along with it, believe in a certain thing that just didn't resonate with them, right? And there's that blind faith that can come up in religion. And so you developed an aversion to thinking about anything that seemed religious. However, those energies were coming from a universal place, and they do. It's just people label them as different things. Buddha, Christ, God, Jesus, goddess, so many different goddesses. There's so many different gods, right? So perhaps that's what you're allowing yourself to shed just in general, or they're telling me that I don't need to explain it anymore. Or maybe I'm just tired of explaining it, or attempting to explain it. But Christ light is available to all of us. Like, it's not the same as what you believe it to be based on what you learn in religion, or what you see other people who may be practicing and preaching something you don't resonate with, right? And I'm not trying to get you to believe anything I'm not trying to preach to you anything. You can believe whatever the fuck you want to believe. And if you don't like what I'm saying, you can easily just not follow me and not watch this video, and I wouldn't know the difference. So that's how I feel. But I really feel it's really just removing ourselves from every single identity and role we've ever placed, actually, since the beginning of our life. Letting go of all of that and just being like, who am I without all of these labels, without all of these roles, without being known as a mother, a teacher, a healer, a tarot reader, whatever you are. I'm not thinking of any examples. I apologize. A dragon, a snake, I don't know. And who are you, right? Like, we are all connected through source consciousness. We are all basically just source consciousness, learning and reflecting each other in different forms. So we're just different forms of source expression. It's expressing itself and learning about itself through interactions with other source consciousness. But this is the brilliance of it, is that source consciousness can literally be everything, that it has become everything. And like, that is why you meet people and like you have similarities and you can relate to them, because we are the same source consciousness. And we're probably over here on like a part of this group that's closer together, right? But then you'll meet people who like, I can't relate to them at all in terms of certain things, and they're probably way over there on the other side of the spectrum, and that's why you can't. However, there's still, like, we are all still human, so we still can connect in a sense. I hope this is not going over people's heads. So we're basically, who are we without all of these labels that we put each other in? Because I feel like the labels and the roles are what end up pitting people against each other, are what end up causing these disagreements, and like, well, you're a Republican and you're a Democrat, so that means that this and this and this, so I can't like you because you believe in this. And it's like, okay, like, to me, I just want to roll my eyes at that shit. I just, like, I don't get it. I'm just like, because somebody identifies as gay or a Republican or a Democrat or pansexual or as oh my god, non-binary, sorry, I was trying to think of the word, all of these, transgender, whatever it is, someone who was born a man but changed and now identifies as a woman, like, why do we let that shit bother us, right? It's like, okay, you do you, boo. Like, does it really affect me? No. It doesn't. Only if I allow it to, right? And then you got to look at what, if it does affect you and you are getting triggered by it, why? Like, what is it within you that it's bringing up? So my point is, shed all of the fucking labels, all of the roles, all of the identities that you've ever placed yourself in, all of the boxes, liberate yourself from them, shed that skin, and then figure out who the fuck you are without all of that, and then build from there. And you're supported through energies that you couldn't even imagine, or maybe you can, who knows, but we're talking about Lyra and dragons and Christ and all kinds of energies that you don't even need to understand. Again, we only get upset at these things because they're labeled like, oh, dragon, that's not real. Well, to some people they are. Christ light, that's not real. To some people it is. But why is it not real to you, right? It's just maybe because you haven't experienced it, because you've placed yourself in this box that's like, I only experience physical 3D things, and anything outside of that is scary, and anything that goes against what I was taught growing up is scary, therefore I should shut it down or ignore it, and all of that. So who are you without all of those things? Who are you without the conditioning? It's already a half hour in. Because the first card we have is the Ace of Cups. Okay, this is self-love, self-care, filling your own cup first. Do you even know how to take care of you? Even, I just got like the whole label thing. Like, I talk a lot about my cycle, and the different phases of my cycle, and it ties into the embodied pussy wisdom stuff. And not that that stuff isn't a part of my life still. I still track my cycle. I still love creating posts about it. Even things like astrological signs, being an Aquarius or being a Libra, being a Taurus, being an Aries, all of those things, like, we can identify with those things, but it is not the end all be all of who we are inside. And also, like, the structures that we use to learn who we are, to know who we are, eventually need to shift and change as well. And that's what I feel like the roles and identities do for us. They give us structure. But, that's a very clear thing, and it is a continuous thing that I talk about, but I allow myself to evolve and change and grow with it. So it doesn't mean that I'm always feeling what I'm feeling, like what it says I'm going to be feeling during that phase. And I attempt to allow clients or anyone I'm talking to have that allowance as well. Like, okay, well, it says during this phase, I should be feeling this way. Well, if you're not, there's nothing wrong with you. It just means that you have other things going on. Maybe it's stuff happening astrologically. Maybe it's stuff happening within your life. Like, what, and so you got to look at, where is it coming from? Another Ace of Coins. Ace of Coins is about, an opportunity, a gift being given in the physical world, but it's more so like a lucrative opportunity. This can also be a new beginning in love, a new relationship happening, an offer of love. Wow, 2 aces in a row. That's exciting. Because we did have gifts, right? These can represent gifts, and we did have the flowers as a gift. So I don't know why I went off on that tangent about identities and roles and allowing yourself to shift and change. And so what if you don't feel like, so what if you're not identifying with an Aquarius, even though you're an Aquarius sun? Like, who fucking cares? Identify with whatever the fuck you want to identify with, and everyone else can just go fuck themselves if they care. Like, well, that's not an Aquarius thing to do. Actually, what I just did and said is an Aquarius thing to do, but my Mercury's in Aquarius, so I think that's why. Mercury rules our mind and communication. Anyways, don't let other people's views or the boxes they try to put you in determine what you're meant to do in your life. Like, they have no idea what you're experiencing on a daily basis. They don't see what you've gone through, what you are going through, what your dreams are, what your hopes are, what your desires are, right? That's what we started with, is what are your desires? The thing about desire, and this is a very embodied pussy wisdom thing, is that desires will change because, well, we're always going to have new desires. So say you get a desire met, you're always going to continue having new ones. And I think it's just in our life, we're here in this physical body as souls to feel. That's why the 5 senses is so important. Like, to us, we're meant to feel. That's why love is such a phenomenon, because, I mean, we do see it happening in the animal kingdom in some species. However, it is a really big phenomenon for humans in terms of it's kind of unpredictable and it spontaneously happens and we can't really explain it. And the point I was making was, someone please remind me the point I was making. I can't remember. Hopefully I got it across. Excuse me. But we have the Queen of Swords. Here's my Aquarius coming out. But the Queen of Swords is, I mean, basically she doesn't take any bullshit. Look, she looks like a badass. She cuts out the bullshit. She's also discerning. That's been coming up a lot too. And she knows what belongs to her and what doesn't. So she's willing to cut off the shit that doesn't belong to her, doesn't resonate with her. And she's also knows how to set boundaries. I mean, yes, she can be cold, a little harsh, a little scary. However, that is needed sometimes when it comes to, like I said, saying, if you don't like what I'm saying in this video, I don't really care. Like, I honestly don't. Because what is your opinion going to do for me? Like, to me, nothing. Like, you can tell me your opinion and I'll honor it and hear it and I'll respect it. And then I'll just say, okay, well then don't listen, because I'm not going to change who I am to make you comfortable. That's basically what this whole shedding of roles thing is. I'm not going to change who I am to make you comfortable. I'm not going to change who I am to make you comfortable. You know why? Because you have a choice to be here or not. I am posting this online for whoever resonates with it, and also for myself. But you have a choice. Like, literally, we have the choice to watch this video or to not, to talk to that person or to not. We have choices, people. Choices, okay? I don't know what is coming out. It's apparently needed. The 5 of Cups came out. So the 5 of Cups is about loss. Sorry. Excuse me. It's about loss. Crying over spilled milk. So regret. And it's emotional. Just sadness, basically. There's a lot of crying. Grieving. It's also about grieving. And then we have the High Priestess, which is about intuition, hidden knowledge, the Book of Secrets. She's tapped in. Like, she's tapped in spiritually. She knows shit that other people may not know because she sits and observes, and she doesn't talk. She doesn't just run her mouth and just talk a bunch of shit. She talks when it's important. And we have the 6 of Cups. It's funny we're going progression here, like 5 and then 6. You know why she doesn't? She can, and this is what I think her power is, she can easily move from grieving into the 6 of Cups, which would be seeing the light side of it. Nostalgia, childhood, it's childhood innocence, can be about happiness and joy and harmony, memories, things coming back from the past. But what I really feel like is the 2 of Cups. Dang, a lot of cups, a lot of emotions. But that's where our desire comes from, right? Is like how we feel. So the High Priestess, she doesn't stay in this 5 of Cups energy for a long time. She'll feel it. She'll fully feel it. She'll allow herself to feel it. She'll allow herself to grieve. And then she'll put herself back up on her throne after she's cried and done whatever she needed to do, released. And then she's back in this energy of, how can I shift this? It's basically what I see is like looking at the being in the darkness of it, and then coming and emerging and being like coming out of the cocoon basically and being in the light. I see the 6 of Cups as that because it's a happy card. It's a very innocent kind of childlike wonder, can be about happy nostalgic memories. So I mean, honestly, like this card is about looking at the past and feeling regret, and then this card is like looking at the past and feeling joy. So she can easily move through that because she is tapped in. Those who are not tapped in to their intuition, and again, I feel like this goes back to who they really are. I feel like the reason the High Priestess is so tapped in and she's allowed this book of secrets and knowledge is because she knows who she really is, and because she's also has integrity enough to not share everything with people who she knows isn't going to be able to handle it. You know, like there's a reason shit doesn't get shared with us in our society, because some people literally cannot handle the truth. So there's that. Then we have the 2 of Cups, which is about love and harmony with another person, a counterpart. It's usually romance, going on a date. So now we're moving into love. But again, we have the Ace of Cups and the 2 of Cups. My goodness. Also, once you find out who you are, once you learn yourself and learn who you really are at your core, that's when you can find someone who is your match, your counterpart, someone who, and not just someone who is a karmic lesson or is going to help you heal, trauma bonding, all that kind of stuff, unhealthy codependency. Once you learn who you really are and you really take care of yourself, you know how to set boundaries for yourself, you know how to stay aligned on your spiritual life purpose and path, and move and deal with your own shit, right? Like in terms of releasing and healing. That's when you find someone who matches you in that same vibration. Then we have the 4 of Coins, which is the 4 of Pentacles. That can be about feeling guarded. Yeah, so love, it looks like love, excuse me. I feel like I'm telling a future here now. The fuck? Starting at the 2 of Cups. I feel like love is in the future. I mean, it could be tomorrow. Who knows? Doesn't have to be the far future, but just it hasn't necessarily happened yet. When it comes in, the 4 of Pentacles is about being guarded, possibly, or holding on to something too tightly. I really feel like it's more about being guarded. I actually want to read it just for shits and giggles. Well, it's also about inheritance, a gift. Okay, maybe I'm kidding. Status through wealth, financial protection, and security. That's very interesting. I mean, it has different meanings. I feel like it gets known for its shadow meanings more so. But inheritance is standing out to me. And gift, because we already were talking about gifts. And if I'm looking at the Lenormand cards that came out, the Heart came out, which is about love and opening up to love. And that's what the 2 of Cups would be. And when you do that, that's when you open up to the gifts, like when you're more willing to be open and receptive. So say, like, I have no problem giving to other people, but I definitely have a hard time receiving from other people and even from myself sometimes. And it's usually like some people struggle with one and some people struggle with the opposite. So once we open up to be more receptive or to be more giving, that's when things start to happen for us. So say, well, I guess if you don't have a problem receiving, this isn't really going to apply to you. I feel like I probably more speak to the people who, like me, need to open up to being more receptive and accepting gifts and allowing it to be reciprocal. So yeah, once you do that, fours are about stability and balance. I feel like you see that there's more balance in your life. There was something else I wanted to say about that. Then we have the Fool. Status through wealth, financial protection, and security. Security. It could also be about hoarding. So that's like the shadow side of it. I don't feel like it's hoarding in this sense. This card also doesn't give off that energy. It feels more like protection, like in terms of security, stability, and protection through monetary things like having a home, having money, stuff like that. Resources. And then we have the Fool, which is starting off like a lot of new beginning energy. And I do feel this is like energy to help get you ready for this new moon that's coming up next week on June 10th, which is a solar eclipse. So, and I've been pulling the sun and the moon like off camera when I'm not doing this a lot for myself. I think I literally pulled the sun and the moon this morning. I'm not even kidding. So big energy, we can already feel it. That's how potent it is. And if you are really in tune with energy, generally you can feel new moon, full moon, or other astrological events, possibly if that's what you're meant to do, before they actually happen. Like the energy is there. I thought it was maybe like 3 to 4 days before, but in this case, it's like a week. And I don't know if that's because of the solar eclipse energy or just because I can feel it. I don't know. Okay, we have the Hermit. The Hermit is Virgo energy, but it's about going within, seeking solitude. Honestly, I feel like the advice right now isn't to be around a lot of people, especially with Mercury in retrograde. You never know what the fuck is going to happen. But really focus on yourself right now, going inward. You may, and the 4 of coins, like I said, it could be about being guarded. It's also about protection, is like maybe you're being asked to protect yourself from certain energies. The Lovers. We are in Gemini season, so this is Gemini, but it's about a love relationship. Well, maybe it's a Virgo. I mean, if I'm getting literal here, maybe it's a Virgo. Because it just, or a Gemini. Those are the only 2 signs I think that have come out so far, unless it's Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra because of the Queen of Swords. Yeah, everything else is not. Also Sagittarius with the astrological card. But the Lovers is about a choice, choosing a partner based on. And again, I mean, the message is like when you find yourself, that's when you then know who is best for you. And that's also when you focus on you. You know how when you are like putting your energy out there chasing and you just can't seem to get the thing, whether it's money or love or whatever, when you stop chasing it and just allow and sit and be receptive and open, like I was just saying, I just saw 444 on the timer. I can't believe I've been talking for 44 minutes. My God. That's when the thing comes to you. And so I feel like that's be your, like, imagine that you are this lamp and all of the bugs are being attracted to it. Not that you want to attract bugs, but you know what I'm saying? Like like a moth to a flame. You focus on you focus on your inner light, you focus on developing this Christ light within yourself. Like, you know, I think that's what this also, to me, I'm feeling this. And I can read the message again from the Dragon Oracle about how to tap into the light in order to manifest, or to whatever it is you're wanting to create, to help spread it also to other people, then if you're attracting, you're going to attract your love, your ideal love relationship. But you got to focus on you. You got to do you. None of this worrying about what everyone else is doing. Worry about what you're doing. It's a couple of cards and then I'm done. Okay, is there any more messages? I feel like maybe just one more. I wouldn't be surprised if it's another major arcana. We just had 3 in a row. No, but it is you guys, it's the King of fucking Swords, the counterpart to the Queen of Swords. See, what did I just say? Why is everyone have blue eyes in this deck? Not hating. Blue eyes are beautiful, but just curious. Fucking counterparts. Literally, like, the Lovers, hello. Okay, and it doesn't have to be an air sign, Aquarius, Gemini, Libra, but just someone who matches you. Didn't this come out in another reading? It was the King and Queen of Cups. And because I was like, this is your love match, right? So it's like someone who meets you on all levels. Here it looks like intellectually, if I'm noticing the sign, but also just 2 people who know how to set boundaries for themselves, who know how to cut shit out that they don't need, who've gone through the same basically process, is what I'm feeling. Of sitting on their throne, not giving shits about what other people think about them and just doing them. And that's when they find each other. I don't know what else to say about that. I think that's pretty clear, but let me read the message here again from the white gold dragon from Lyra. Okay, I want to read a little bit more. Lyra is the cross-shaped 12th dimensional stargate through the Archangel Christiel and the unicorns, through which Archangel Christiel and the unicorns enter our universe. The light from Lyra pours down through the moon, allowing scintillating 7th dimensional dragons to step through into the vibration of Earth. These white gold dragons embody the highest frequency of Christ light available to everyone on this planet. Everyone is connected through the same source energy. They work closely with Archangel Christiel, who is in charge of the development of the causal chakras of humanity. This is particularly important now, as our causal chakra is our connection to the higher dimensions of spirit, the dragons, angels, unicorns, and masters. The white gold dragons from Lyra help to clear and develop our causal chakra and illuminate our highest possible ascension path. All right, so I'm going to read again the guidance, and it says, these white gold dragons are attracted to you now because you already carry Christ light in your aura. Remember? Just imagine like this is their aura. That's kind of what I was seeing with it. Ask one to take you to the 9th dimensional pool of Christ energy held in Lukame. Visualize yourself bathing in the pool, which shimmers and swirls with pure love and light. Feel yourself absorbing all you are ready to receive. See, receptivity. When you return, continue to feel the white gold light in your aura and practice pure unconditional love in your daily life. Okay, that's what I honestly feel like these cards represent. Practicing this in your everyday life and pure unconditional love, which I think is represented here with the Lovers. Your aura will radiate and the incredibly high frequency of white gold, and the white gold dragon from Lyra will support you by continuing to pour Christ light into you. Take time to find a quiet, still place where you can listen to its wisdom and guidance. That's definitely, I'm feeling so much from this Hermit card. So you can't do that when you're constantly surrounded by other people who are trying to tell you who you should be. Only you know who you are. And how you find that out is you do some hermiting, which can be a little scary to people, especially extroverts who thrive on other people and their energy and all of that stuff. So if you'd like to work with me, you can email me at empoweringyouраuthenticity@gmail.com or follow me on Instagram at empoweringauthenticity and message me there. I do 30-minute or 60-minute readings. They can be pre-recorded or live over Zoom. Yeah, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Sending you guys love. Bye.